I expected to be a Sprint Cup racer.
Middletown, Connecticut's Joey Logano wins the Daytona 500.
That's what I wanted to be when I was 5 years old.
He found his passion and he drove himself, and all we did is support him.
Did I expect to go through all these different swings and all these things that were going to have to come together at the right time for it to work? Absolutely not. I want to be remembered more than just a championship race car driver. I want to be known as someone that's made a difference in people's lives. I believe that you should be passionate about everything in life. Racing Sprint Cup cars for a living. Like, that's been my dream forever. I'm very fortunate to have a family that gets it. By getting it, I mean they understand what I go through, what I have to push through every day, the pressure that's on me, the time commitments that are on me. It's definitely on the brain that you have to straighten that stuff out if you want to be successful on race day. As you get older and you start you go with your career and you've made it to the level that you've wanted to get to for so many years, that you start to cherish the beginnings more. I had the race car bed, I had the Matchbox cars. Like, that was what I loved from the get-go.
I bought Joey a go-kart when he was 4 years old. I said, the kid's, he's got a passion for what he's doing, because he kept bugging me, so this is what he wants to do.
Joey was meant to drive. He kept telling me that someday he will be in Cup.
One of my earliest memories is my dad went to the junkyard and got this old Honda Civic. And we just put some duct tape wooden blocks on the pedals and put some pillows behind me, and I would just go drive around the yard with all the trucks and everything, and he'd go back to work and he'd come back out and say, "How'd you do?"
You know, usually in NASCAR, you know, it's always my father raced or the kid raced. Well, Joey's father played baseball and basketball and picked up garbage, and Joey raced. There's no correlation there, you know what I'm saying? You can't force your kids to do what you want. My son's a race car driver. My daughter's an ice skater. I knew nothing about racing, but all we did is support their passions. Danielle would travel with us on the weekend. Joey would hang out at the ice skating rink, or else we'd be working on race cars. And that's what we did until Joey turned 15 years old.
All right, let's go. All right. This will be fun. We haven't been here in a while.
Me and Joey met at the ice rink that Tom and Debbie built for Danielle. He was kind of like a little dorky, a little like, I don't know, just he seemed really nervous.
Fire up here. What's up, homie?
Hello, homie. What's up? He would come to the ice rink every day, do his school while I was training, warm up with all of us, and then on the weekends I'd go to the racetrack. So we've always been close, we still are today, which is nice. I mean, since day one, he loves driving anything, and it really shows because he's really accomplished what he's always dreamed of.
We got Danielle Logano taking the ice.
I watched my sister and the way she got ready for a competition, and how many times she practiced or learned to do a jump and would fall and would fall until she finally lands, you know, and what that meant and how big of a deal that was. And to see the work and effort that goes into something that's very difficult and then finally see the emotions when you're successful, I think is really cool. The red one here, this was the first car. This is when my dad bought this car when I was 6 years old. This is the first thing I drove on a racetrack. I was so lucky that he kept it. I don't know why he kept it, but he kept that car, and it's always been special to me for that reason. We'd race so much. We'd race 3-4 times a week. It was always me pushing him. Like, I wanted to go, like, let's go race another one, let's go do another one, you know? And it's an amazing commitment for your family to do that.
See, so Joe, remember this back in the day when you were, how old were you when I gave this to you?
What was I, probably 7?
No, 6 at most, maybe 5. That's you, Joe. Remember those days? Kid will come up to him at 7 years old, and I'll be standing near Joey, and the kid will want his autograph, and he'll go, "Kid, how old are you?" And he goes, 7. And Joey would look at me now and he'd say, "How crazy were you? You had me driving a trailer truck at 7. Look at this little kid."
I think they saw what I loved so much and said, all right, let's go with it. And you kind of move up to different ranks like you would if you were playing baseball or basketball or whatever. And, you know, eventually it's like, whoa, this is getting pretty serious now. Like, we're getting to the higher level.
Mark Martin was a big part of Joey's career because we raced against Mark Martin's son. And Mark made a statement, I got this kid that's, I don't know, he was 13 years old at the time, and he said, if Joey Logano got in my race car today, he can race it in the Cup Series. So that kind of put Joey's name on the map, and then so when Joey turned 15, he signed a contract with Joe Gibbs Racing.
That was the moment that kind of was like, holy cow, we got a shot at this. And they wanted to hire me on as a young driver and develop me for the next 3 years, so we did that. And then later on that year, Tony Stewart, who was driving the 20 car, said, you know, he's gonna move on and start his own race team. So now here's this championship winning car that Tony Stewart's driven for the last 10 years. And they said, all right, we're gonna throw you in it. And I said, okay. I jumped in this Cup car and I got destroyed. I'm talking like beat up every single week. I was happy about finishing 25th. I realized that this isn't as easy as I thought it was going to be. You know, at every level in my career up to that point, it came easy. I was able to rely on talent. You know, I didn't have to work at my craft much. You know, it's just, you know, I could jump in a race car and go win. That was a time that I felt, you know, a lot of stress. I felt a lot of pressure that, you know, this might not work. I may be in trouble here. I may have to take a step back for a few years before I even get the opportunity to move back up. Will I ever get that opportunity to move back up? Who knows? And then it was a lot of struggles from there.
I'm that person that's going to be there when he wins to give him a hug, and I'm that person that's going to be there when he loses to give him a hug.
It was a dog-eat-dog world, and I think Joey saw that this is what life's all about, and you got to be strong.
My husband and I taught our children respect, work hard, never give up, but he had to work hard.
He's a champion in life. Racers are the hardest working people I have ever met.
Got to the point at the end of my contract at Joe Gibbs Racing, there wasn't an opportunity for me to stay there and race at the Sprint Cup level. And that was kind of like the, oh boy. In our sport, it's not just winning races, it's having the right people behind you and having the right opportunity. Later on that season, the 22 car at Team Penske opened up. And they needed someone to drive the car, and I was the available guy. Driving for Roger Penske, it's like driving for none other. So to get the call from him and to say, hey, you're gonna drive this 22 Shell Pennzoil car, like, yeah. I mean, I thought I was out. We're not gonna race for top fives, we're gonna race to win. And that was the second shot for me that just kind of took off.
Middletown, Connecticut's Joey Logano wins the Daytona 500.
Daytona 500, guys! Unbelievable. Daytona 500. Oh.
What was going through your mind?
Everything.
I would never have guessed 2 years after I almost lost my job that I'd win the Daytona 500. Come from working at Joe Gibbs Racing, which was a great place, and I was not successful and I was going to be out. But I was able to take what I learned and have my second shot and make the most out of that, and it has all come together.
I am so proud of the way that he holds himself in this sport. And he's very strong with it.
You have to check us out, Gavin, when you get you out. We got everything.
My favorite one was when we were going around and you just slammed on the throttle and we did that whole drift.
Oh, did you like that?
Yeah.
That's pretty fun when you drift around. I want to use the racing platform to do things that are a lot larger than winning races. I want to be known as someone that's made a difference in people's lives. We started the Joey Logano Foundation for second chances, kind of because I had a second chance in my career.
I mean, he does his foundation, he donates a ton of money, a ton of time, a ton of effort.
I'm more proud of him off the track than on the track. At the end of the day, you don't have trophies. When you actually take that opportunity to help other people, you know, it keeps you grounded.
To be able to affect somebody's life, it's pretty special.
I'm proud of him and my daughter for who they are, what they do for people.
It's leading by example. That's what I'm proud of. I mean, you know, your kids are a reflection of how you brought them up. Joey has gone above and beyond, carrying our name, carrying our reputation, being honorable, working hard, treating people fair. What comes around goes around, and you get rewarded for that.
I did expect to be here when I was 5 years old, but I didn't know how I was going to get here and how it was going to be. Did I expect to go through all these different swings and all these things that were going to have to come together at the right time for it to work? No. Looking back at it now, I wouldn't change that for anything.